they are not gentle. But that's okay. As long as I move from pasture to pasture. Oh, let me show you a feature. See that? That's a peg. You know, they just now started putting those on new tractors. My grandpa had one of these on here since the 80s, so he was definitely ahead of the curve. Looky here. First try. It's the little things. Little things that make me happy. I'm turning on a new pasture. I plan on planting a cover crop here, but there is some weedy plants they can eat. Moving pasture to make room for the cows over there. This right here is an old hog house. It was built to match that barn right there that was built in 1926. My dad and uncle, my grandpa actually built that barn inside the old barn. The old one was a lot larger and had a hay loft. So these hog houses, this is where my grandpa raised hogs. This was a wintertime house because it was completely boarded up. As you can see, dirt is pretty thick in there because that's the hogs would carry that in there. Ooh, poop. So he didn't raise them in barns. He kept a few in there to breed, and then when the feeder pigs got big enough, that's where they'd ship them out sometimes. We also had pig floors that they'd feed out the feeder pigs, get them up to 40 pounds. But that's the hog house. Works pretty good for goats too. Let's turn these wild things out. One's got a little bit of diarrhea. I'm hoping that's just from extra protein feed I fed them. Oh, look out! Oh! Whew. Wild beast. Let's hope they don't get out. This fence right here, it's a 6-strand high tensile fence that I built back during the original COVID quarantine. So it's 100% electrified, or it's supposed to be. But they'll find out. Look at that old girl right there. Yeah, I wanted to move them to this pasture where I had the barn and a hog house because they should be about to kid at some point. Yep. That's one job out of the way. Now it's time to move equipment. Box, make sure it's clicking. Actually, going to, sorry I wasn't showing you what I was doing. So I'm taking that leg of the fence off for now, just to eliminate any issues. I'm gonna take this back to the owner. I don't own the stock trailer. So if you notice, I'm in a green machine today. Hey, I'm in the 6620. It's been a long time since I've been in this machine to harvest. Probably since I was a little kid. Probably, I guess the last time I harvested a crop with this machine is when my dad had cancer when I was 11 and 12 years old, and I harvested quite a bit that year. I didn't harvest the whole crop, but I did harvest the wheat, and I think I kind of put a lot of that year out of my memory there, but I think I harvested the soybeans. I'm not sure. That was a tough year. If it wasn't for our family and friends and neighbors I've got so much header loss with the International Combine and these short beans. I decided the best thing to do was just to park it and do something different, because we were just losing too much yield. So I really didn't want to stop cutting, but I need to get a paper towel. I didn't really want to stop cutting, but I hated to keep cutting and losing that much. So it's one of those deals, catch 22. Here comes our wheat fertilized. I think my muffler was cold. I had the shakes. I know what the problem is. There's a clearance gap there, and we don't need that much clearance. So we're going to have to take that whole pooperoo off. That's a bearing holder for the disc, and weld that up. I've had to do that to 2 of these already. I think the problem is, well, this is older equipment. That's not the best quality steel. It doesn't weld very good either. This steel welds great. But I think the problem is, such a good tractor and plenty of horsepower for this, and the way that articulates, you know, it pivels in the middle like a fish. When you steer, it twist action and puts a lot of twist on these outside gangs. This whole apparatus right here, it's a ghost, it's not even Halloween. This whole apparatus right here is called a gang. It's a gang of blades. So let's fix it. Not square. That's how I noticed it, was that bearing holder was shiny right there. So then I had to, upon further inspection, I saw that. I was really surprised. Maybe that cap nut on that axle wasn't that tight, but that high torque Milwaukee buzzed it right off, like it wasn't even an issue. So now to get that bent back into place and get that dude welded up and a new bearing.